Hey, Coach, you and I have known each other for about 25 years.
And we didn't hold that against you.
Thank you.
Nothing more exciting than having a guy from back home be here, just like Cornelson. You were a guy in high school that could flip on a switch. You know, you flipped on a switch when you came on the field, and I've never seen anybody hit anybody harder than I've seen Chris Brown hit people. So with that being said, and your success in college, and now you're at a great opportunity in your life to bring your family here, how do you install that switch that you had in the players that you're going to have on the field? I mean, you just one of the few people I've ever seen to be able to do that.
They'll probably see it in practice. No. You know, it's hard to teach, but the players usually kind of tend to be like their coach. You know, I really truly believe that. When they see their coach being aggressive and physical, and just really intense, they tend to be that same way. We'll do a lot of things in practice. We'll do a lot of competition and stuff in practice, and I think that's where you get that edge. I think that's where those kids gain that mental edge and that mental toughness to learn how to flip on that switch. So we'll do a lot of competition stuff in practice and let them get after it a little bit, and hopefully we get that thing turned over.
Coach, are there any? Is there going to be any carryover from last year's coaching staff being brought on for your staff in the upcoming year?
Yeah, there's one from a guy from Washington I'm trying to bring with me along with me. Hopefully it'll happen. I mean, he does a very good job. He's a good friend of mine, and we actually play together. I'd really like to get him here with me. There's a GA on staff that does a very good job with me as well. He's worked with me for the last 3 years, and I'd like to probably bring him as well. Then I'm looking, around the conference a little bit more with some guys that aren't coordinators, but they could be very good at coordinating. But there's a few guys there that I'd like to bring with me.
Anybody you'll retain from the four-day staff?
Talked to Al McCray quite a bit. Seems to be a very good, a very hard worker, and a very good recruiter. And I like his personality. I like his upbeat tempo, and he's very energetic. And I think we need to keep a guy like that around. I really do.
You've had a first-hand look at Fort Hays now for quite a while. What does Fort Hays have to do to take that step up?
I think they've done it. I mean, from what they've shown me, and Dr. Hammonds and Curtis, for what they've done so far, I think they take that next step to get to that next level. I mean, I really do. With the new facility coming, the indoor here in 2012, I mean, that's real exciting. I mean, that's a big step. But it comes down to the players. I mean, it's maybe just the attitude of the players, getting those players ready, getting them excited again for football. Let them know that. Remember in 8th grade, 7th grade, how you just loved to play the game. You loved it. Bringing that love back to the game. I really think that's what they need, is just remember, I play this game because I love it. And I think getting the right coaching staff and the right guys in line, I think that's what this program needs. I think that gets it in the right direction.
This group has lost a lot of seniors, particularly on the offense. How are you going to try to retool this at the same time? Is it going to be difficult trying to retool this team as well as finding new coaches at this time?
It's always hard at first. It's going to take work. It's going to take more work than what I've been doing, being at Washburn. But, it's going to take work, and it's going to take time. I'm going to hire coaches. Got to get on the road and recruit. And I got to get those guys in here recruiting. But it's going to take effort. It's going to take effort on all of our parts. But it can be done. It might be a little slow this year, but we're going to try to get it done.
What kind of a timeline do you have to get your coaching staff in place?
The sooner the better.
Yes.
I mean, I hope the sooner we can get them here, and the better off we're going to be. So I'm hoping to get them here, within the next week or so, get everything solidified and done, and get those guys here and start recruiting.
You've been able to sign guys from all over. I mean, Zach, Fletcher, and Pierre, just named three, come from 3 different states. What kind of scope do you take in terms of signing players?
First of all, you look at their athleticism. I mean, that's the first thing you look at. And you kind of look at their character. What type of kid they're from. What's their background. I mean, you got to find everything out about a kid you can find out. And you want to get the best kid that fits your program. But athleticism is probably the biggest part of it, but character is a big part of it as well. You got to find kids that come from winning programs, because those kids know how to win, and those are the ones you really want. But you got to keep you got to keep it open. You got to look for players everywhere. I mean, a lot of guys. They might have a guy that from a Division I school that is not going to make it there and they needs to transfer. I mean, you just make connections with other coaches in the conference. outside of the conference. You meet guys, and you talk to guys, and I got a lot of relationships with guys outside of here that, if they got a kid or something that they need me to look at, I will look at them.
Coach, as far as 4 days in the MIAA and the history of 4 days football, your view as far as being able to be a consistent winner or success, how do you view that? 4 days has never had a 9-win season. They've had 6 8-win seasons and 6 7-win seasons. So going forward, what's your view and your definition for success for 4 days football?
And, I think it starts with just getting the right kids in here and the right coaching staff. I mean, the support's there. Support from administration's there. You just got to get the right kids in here, and you got to build it. I mean, you just can't go crazy and recruit all JUCO kids and, hopefully have, a real fast season, big win season. I mean, it's going to take time to build. And I think once you finally build that program and get it to where you want it, those seasons will come.
It was said at the last press conference of the firing of Kevin Verdugo as the head coach that President Hammond said, we don't necessarily want to win championships, we just want to be competitive. What's your take on that?
That was a minimum statement.
It's their goal, it's my goal, it's all the players' goal to win that championship. I mean, that's the goal. But to get to that championship, you got to work. In this conference, you got to compete. And to compete in this conference, you don't just compete at this conference level. To compete in this conference, you got to compete at a national level. Because, if you win our conference, you're going to have a chance to win a national championship. And that's just what it is. If you look at the last 8, 9 championships, there's been an MIAA school in there. But, it's not just compete here in this conference, but you got to compete at national level. And you just got to get the right kids. Your kids got to believe in it. The kids got to pursue with it and go with it and trust in their coach and believe in their coach that, he is the right guy. And when those kids start believing that and start believing in themselves that they are winners, and that competition will come and that they will be competitive, and who knows? Who knows what can happen? I hope to be very competitive this year, and then build on it next year and the year after that. But you never know what could happen.
How'd your meeting with the team go?
I think very well. I don't know. Ask them. They're back there in the back. I think they were very receptive. New guy coming in. I'm pretty excited. I think they could tell I was pretty excited. They know that I expect a lot of work out of them. I believe that. They know it's going to take the whole group to get this done, not just 1 or 2 guys on the team. And hopefully the seniors step up and be leaders for us and get these guys in the right direction and get them in the weight room. Stay here in the summer, do the 7-on-7 and all that stuff. The more you keep your guys here, the better off your program is going to be. And I think it went very well. I enjoyed talking to them. They all came up and shook my hand. They're very respectful, and I appreciate that, and I think they're a good group of guys.
Now that we recruited you, what do you have to do, or what did you have to do to recruit your family to come along with you?
Not much. It's pretty much, hey, we're going. No. They were very happy. My wife's so supportive of me through my whole career. She's always been there for me, and I really appreciate that. She knows I've always wanted to be a head coach, and once she heard I got it, she was running through the house, going crazy, so excited. And the kids, little kids, they're harder to convince, because all their buddies are there. They love their friends. But I think once they got here today and they walked into the gymnasium, they looked up and they go, wow, this place is awesome. Hard for Mom. Mom's, she knows she lives in Topeka, but she'll probably eventually move out here.
Coach, how's Coach Cornelson influence in your high school days?
He's probably the one that gave me that mental switch that Mr. Armstrong was talking about. He's a fiery guy. He's a great coach. He gets his kids to play hard, and I think I kind of get that same thing out of kids. I kind of know how to motivate them. I feel I know how to motivate them. And kids just seem to play hard for me. You just got to build a relationship with your players, and that's what he did. Your kids got to know you care about them. And if they know you care about them and that you're there for them and that you got their back, those kids will play hard for you. And I think that's what these kids got to understand, that I'm here for them and that they can trust me. And then I got their back on anything they do. So if they need anything from me, all they got to do is ask, and I'm there for them. And I think that's what he instilled in me is, you got to be there for your players. You got to let them know that you trust them and that they can trust you. And I think that's how a program works. Yes, sir.
Did Washburn have a strength coach?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Are you going to implement that here, hopefully?
I'm looking for a guy that can do that, yes, and if I can't find somebody, I will do it, because I was in the weight room quite a bit when I was in Liberal, and I kind of know how to get it done, so, yep. We'll find somebody that can get it done.
Any other questions? Well, again, I want to thank you all for coming, and at the same time, I want to welcome the Brown family to Hayes, and we'll look forward to the rest of the new coaches arriving very shortly. There isn't any question in Curtis or my mind about whether or not we will have people that know how to recruit, and that's the secret to answering the question about, you know, how do you get competitive? You get competitive by not only taking great athletes like we have, but creating 80 of them. And we did lose a number on the offensive side, but I have a sneaky feeling we'll be really competitive even next year. And as you know, the RMAC, the RMAC was a lot easier than the MIAA, and with the new conference, we're going to be playing all conference schools. So there's not going to be any easy games. Every game's going to be a challenge. And I'm convinced that Coach Brown can meet that challenge, and he will bring players and coaches here that can get it done as well. Thank you very much for coming.